Welcome again to this series of lectures on post-colonial literature. We had ended our previous discussion by saying that with intellectuals like Homi Bhabha and Salman Rushdie, we move from the confines of nationalism to the wider field of cosmopolitanism, and we will use this as our starting point today for our discussion of Caribbean poetry and specifically for our discussion of the poet Derek Walcott. But before we move on to Walcott and his poetry, we will look at Walcott and one of his poems, in fact, as a representative of Caribbean poetry today. But before we do that, before we move on to Walcott, let me dwell upon the concept of cosmopolitanism for a while, because in my previous lecture I have presented cosmopolitanism as a kind of an alternative to the sense of belonging in a nation or to the sense of nationalism. And since we have discussed at some length the notions of nationalism and the concept of nation state, it is all the more reason that we should discuss this alternative of cosmopolitanism. Now, the word cosmopolitanism is difficult to describe in a brief and concise manner, and this difficulty primarily comes from the fact that this word or its variants have existed for more than 2000 years now, and this 2000-year long history makes the understanding of this word particularly complex. But having said that, I will try and simplify the matter as far as possible without making it too simplistic. But let us start, therefore, by looking at the roots of the word cosmopolitanism. Now, the word cosmopolitanism has its root in the Greek language, and it combines two specific Greek words. One is cosmos and the other is polis. Now, here again, these Greek words, which were relevant 2500 years ago, are difficult to translate in today's context, and it is difficult because most of us are not very well aware of the Greek context in which these words had their origin. But roughly speaking, cosmos can be translated as the universe or the world, and the Greek word polis signifies ancient Greek city-states like Athens or Sparta. Now, in order to understand cosmopolitanism, we have to understand how these two constituent parts, cosmos and polis, they combine and interact with each other. But again, before we do that, we need to focus on the component polis. Cosmos is easily understood when we say that cosmos is basically the universe or the world. That is easy to grasp. But what is difficult to grasp in this sort of combination of words is the constituent part polis. Now, as I said, that polis can be roughly translated as a city-state in ancient Greece. But this is not a very useful definition to us, because in the contemporary world we are used to the concept of nation states rather than city-states, and therefore it requires some kind of an explanation about what a polis was. Now, but the way I want to explain this is not by going into historical details about the Greek polis as it existed, but rather I would just like to point out that the nature of the ancient Greek polis can be understood, however imperfectly, by applying to it the parameters of nation states and one's sense of belongingness to a nation with which all of us are familiar. So, just like we form part of a nation state by sharing certain rights and obligations as its citizens, ancient Greeks too, just like this, belonged to one particular polis or another, and they belonged to these polis by sharing certain obligations and rights as citizens. The second point that helps us understand this concept of polis through the lens of nation state is that just like the strong sense of nationalism that today pervades most of the global population and defines their identity, the identity of an ancient Greek was also very strongly determined by his being part of one polis or another. So, for instance, in the 5th century BCE, and I am talking about 5th century BCE because we have already referred to this period in one of our earlier lectures. So, in the 5th century BCE, there was actually no concept of a Greek nation. There was no Greece nation state. Rather, people owed their political allegiance to a polis, and this allegiance in fact would define their identity to a large extent, just like today our affiliation to one particular nation state or another defines to a large extent our identity, defines who we are. So, for instance, today we know Plato as a very famous philosopher from Greece, but if Plato during his time would have been confronted with this identity that you are from Greece, Plato would probably have been very bewildered, to say the least, because he was born in Athens, the polis of Athens, and therefore his identity was primarily that of an Athenian. So, he was an Athenian rather than a Greek. Now, therefore, the strong sense of nationalism that often ties us today with one particular nation state or another, we can find a similar sentiment connecting individuals in ancient Greece with one particular polis or another. Now, I hope we have arrived at some understanding of what polis, what the nature of polis was, and more importantly, what was an individual's connection with the polis to which he belonged. But now we come to the more important point, how the two elements, cosmos and polis, interact and combine with each other to form the concept of cosmopolitanism. Now, the first recorded cosmopolitan in history is perhaps the 4th century BCE intellectual who is known as Diogenes the Cynic, and he was born in the polis of Sinope, which is located in present day Turkey, but at that point of time it was a Greek colony. Now, it is said that once when Diogenes was asked where he came from, he replied that he was not a citizen of any particular polis, but he was a citizen of the world. And the Greek word that Diogenes apparently used was cosmopolites, which is the root word of cosmopolitan that we use today. Now, it is generally agreed that what Diogenes was indicating by his answer that he was a citizen of the world was that he was no citizen at all. He did not belong to any polis. So, in other words, the claim of being a citizen of the world is to be understood here as a negative claim rather than a positive one, which means that by saying that he is a citizen of the world, Diogenes is saying that he is no citizen, and he is in fact beyond and above all the rights and obligations that bound individuals in ancient Greece with their polis and binds individuals today with their nation state. Now, this idea of renouncing the ties with all geopolitical entities, be it a polis or a nation state, this kind of renunciation as a kind of cosmopolitanism has been shared by very few people in history. Yet, the critics of cosmopolitanism have levied their criticism primarily at this strand of cosmopolitanism, which advocates a lack of commitment to any particular state or geopolitical entity. And we are reminded here, of course, of the persecution of Jewish intellectuals in Soviet Russia by Stalin. And these Jewish intellectuals were labeled as cosmopolitans or as rootless cosmopolitans, and they were labeled as rootless cosmopolitans because the Soviet state under Stalin believed that they were not patriotic enough. They did not have enough commitment towards the Soviet state. Now, as I said, that this brand of cosmopolitanism, though it has often been criticized, adherents of the idea of cosmopolitanism seldom speak about this kind of cosmopolitanism. Rather, they speak about a different kind of cosmopolitanism, which can be identified, for instance, among the Stoics. Now, Stoics are practitioners of a philosophy or a worldview which is referred to as Stoicism. And Stoicism, as a particular way of thinking about the world, first emerged in Greece during the 3rd century BCE. And since then, it has passed through many phases and transformations. And here again, I will not bore you with a detailed history of the various phases and transformations of Stoicism as a branch of philosophy. But what is to be noted here is that unlike Diogenes the Cynic, the Stoics believed that being a citizen of the world was not in itself in opposition to being a citizen of a particular state. In other words, the notion that one is the citizen of the world is not in conflict with the idea that one is also the citizen of a particular state. The Stoics, in fact, considered themselves to be citizens of the world because they believed that all human beings formed part of a universal community, and any individual had duties and obligations not just to his fellow citizens of a particular state, but also to this greater human community. Now, the whole world, therefore, was conceived by the Stoics as a huge polis or as a state in itself. And all human beings were regarded first and foremost as citizens of this world state or world polis or cosmopolis. And but if the entire world is a state and therefore each of us have obligations to that world state and to all the human beings who are citizens of that world state, then the notion of commitment becomes somewhat diluted, because if we are to be duty bound to everyone, then there is a risk that we end up being duty bound to no one. But the Stoics had another argument. The Stoics said that we can serve the citizens of our own nation state or polis as representatives of that world state. Because it is not possible for us to serve everyone, we serve a representative section of that human community, and that representative section can be the citizens of your own polis or your own nation state. So, the state or the nation or polis, according to this Stoic worldview, fits into the concept of a world state or a world polis as smaller wheels fit into a larger wheel. And one's commitment to these two overlapping spheres of the polis and the cosmos, of the state and the world, is complementary and not in opposition to each other. So, I mean, just to repeat myself so that you understand this very clearly, you can serve both your polis and the world state simultaneously according to the Stoics. There is no conflict in that sense of commitment, in this dual sense of commitment. They fit as if they are concentric circles, one within the other. Now, the most powerful proponent of this particular version of cosmopolitanism, which conceives the world as a superstate, as a huge polis, and which tries to couple one's allegiance and commitment to nation state and to the universal human community, is the 18th century German philosopher Immanuel Kant. Now, Kant, in his seminal essay Toward Perpetual Peace, which was published in 1795, talks about a world state. And not only does he talk about the world as a state, the world as a single state, but he also talks about world laws or cosmopolitan laws, which will be applicable to everyone, to the entire humanity, because all of them, all of us, are citizens of that world state. But here we need to remember that Kant does not propose the end of individual sovereign states, but rather what he proposes is a delicate balance between the individual states and the nations and the notion of a world state. So, again we go back to this idea of concentric circles, where nation states fit within the large circle of a world state. And how this might work, we get a glimpse of this by studying, for instance, how institutions like the United Nations function today, how laws or charters like the Universal Declaration of Human Rights are implemented today, how international law courts like the International Criminal Court in the Netherlands, how they function. And they are these institutions, these laws, these rights which are internationally valid, they echo this idea of cosmopolitanism that we first find in the Stoics and then again in Kant. But when we talk about cosmopolitanism as a state of being simultaneously committed at a local level to the polis or the nation, or even to our own family, to our village, to our clan. So, these are our local commitments, and we also speak of a simultaneous commitment at a global level to the entire humanity. In doing so, we are actually talking about various forms of sharing and overlapping. Let me simplify this for you. If I am to be committed towards my own nation state, as also towards the universal sort of entire humanity, the universal notion of human beings as citizens of the world state, what is going to be my commitment? What is going to be the nature of my commitment? Well, the nature of my commitment can be various and can be different, and can be different primarily because different commentators of cosmopolitanism have understood this overlapping in different ways. So, for instance, it can be political, this overlapping, where we act out our duties as citizens of India, for instance, by abiding by the laws of this country, while also performing our duties to our fellow human beings by forwarding the cause of universal human rights, which is an international law, right. So, here we are simultaneously committed to the laws of our nation state and to the universal law of human rights. There is no conflict, right, and this is our political engagement with both the nation state and with the world state. Apart from this political engagement, there can also be moral engagement at these two simultaneous levels. For instance, this can be a moral sharing where we perform our moral duties towards our families, while at the same time we try to reach out to humanity at large through participating in institutions like the Red Cross Society and in institutions like, for instance, Doctors Without Frontiers. But it can also be cultural sharing, cultural commitment, where we share our sense of belongingness to multiple cultures. And it is this cultural cosmopolitanism or multiple cultural belongingness that we will study today with reference to Derek Walcott and his poetry. First, let me introduce Walcott to you before we go on to discuss his poetry. Walcott won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1992, and he was born in the Caribbean island of St. Lucia in 1930 and is renowned worldwide both as a poet and as a playwright. And he has been a prolific author, known both for his ability to produce epic poems like Omeros, for instance, but also for his ability to write shorter verses, very powerful shorter verses. And as a dramatist, he is perhaps most well known for his play Dream on Monkey Mountain, which was first produced in 1970. Now, to understand the notion of cultural cosmopolitanism and how it operates in the writings of Walcott, we need to keep in mind the specific context from which Walcott writes, the specific context from within which Walcott writes his poetry or his plays. And this specific context that I am talking about is a context of Caribbean history. Now, this context of Caribbean history situates Walcott at a unique crossroad of cultural identities, and to explore the sense of multiple cultural belongingness or cultural cosmopolitanism that this context opens up for Walcott, we will be looking at a very well known poem by him, which is titled A Far Cry from Africa. But first, a few words about this context, about this Caribbean context and Caribbean history. Now, the islands that form the Caribbean or the West Indies were infamously described by the 19th century historian, British historian, James Anthony Froude, as an island uninhabited by quote unquote rational human beings and a space which did not contain any trace of civilization. Now, part of this statement is of course informed by the colonial snobbery of a white man who is speaking about a subjugated land, and we have seen this snobbery at work when we discussed the African context, where to someone like Marlowe standing in his boat, the Africans do not even qualify as human beings. So, part of Froude's rejection of the Caribbean as a land uninhabited by rational human beings, of course, comes from this white colonial snobbery. But part of it is also true in the sense that the native inhabitants of the Caribbean islands were driven to near extinction by the Spanish colonizers during the 16th century. And this meant not only a wiping out of a whole community of people, but also a wiping out of entire cultural and knowledge systems which the indigenous people of the Caribbean islands possessed. And later, when the decline of the Spanish Empire in this part of the world was followed by the coming in of the British and the French colonizers and the Dutch colonizers, they brought to the Caribbean millions and millions of slaves and indentured laborers from distant parts of the world like Africa, for instance, or India, and thereby changing the entire demographic profile of these islands. The Caribbeans is therefore a space which do not retain much of the traces of its original inhabitants and their cultures, but which is nevertheless a huge melting pot of different people from different parts of the world, different languages and different cultures. So, on the one hand, the original cultural template was scrubbed clean almost by the Spanish conquistadors, but on the other hand, Caribbean island as a location where various different people with various different cultures from different parts of the world came together, made Caribbean a huge melting pot of peoples, of cultures and of languages. However, as I just mentioned, when Froude wrote about the Caribbean islands in the late 19th century, the civilization and cultural attainments of the indigenous population had all but vanished, and a new Caribbean culture was yet to emerge. Therefore, in the Caribbean, Froude could see only an empty space of civilizational nothingness. And this sense of nothingness that Froude associated with the Caribbean in the 19th century was again echoed in the 20th century by the Caribbean-born author V.S. Naipaul, an author with Indian origins. And he too believed that his home country was actually a space of nothingness. It did not produce anything, it did not have any history of its own. But when we come to Walcott, we see that this very nothingness becomes a position of cultural strength and cultural experimentation. And Walcott uses the notion of his homeland as a blank slate to forge a new identity that brings together the traces of all the multiplicity of peoples, of languages, of cultures that had come together in the Caribbean. Thus, unlike the nationalist writings that we had studied before in the Indian context, where we saw the attempt to recover a pure Indian identity by carefully separating out what is foreign and by trying to reach at the indigenous core, in the writings of Derek Walcott, we come across something really different. We come across an attitude of eclecticism, an attitude of universal acceptance. And this eclecticism is beautifully brought out in the poem that we are now going to discuss, the poem which is titled A Far Cry from Africa. Now, A Far Cry from Africa was written in response to the news of the British atrocities against Kenyan freedom fighters during the Mau Mau uprisings of the 1950s. And in the poem, Walcott extends his solidarity to the dead Africans. And here we need to remember that some of Walcott's own ancestors came to the Caribbeans from Africa, bound in slave ships. But even while extending his solidarity, Walcott cannot distance himself from the English language which he has inherited from the very British colonizers who enslaved his ancestors and who now persecuted the Mau Mau revolutionaries in Africa. So he talks about his quote unquote love for the English tongue, which, though it originally belonged to the colonizers, is now being used by him to lament the death of the people suffering from the atrocities of colonialism. The language of the colonizers being used to lament the atrocities of colonialism. And this is very important. This cultural appropriation is crucial in Walcott because it speaks of how we can take hold of the very weapons of colonial oppression. And indeed, the imposition, the forceful imposition of English language on the colonized subject was an act of cultural oppression. But what Walcott is showing that we can take hold of such weapons of colonial oppression and we can then use them to our own benefit. We can make these weapons the tools of our self-expressions, in which case they cease to be modes of oppression and they become the means of showing empathy, of showing kindness, of showing solidarity. But this process, which Walcott performs very beautifully in the poem A Far Cry from Africa, is not an easy process. Appropriation is never easy, because as a legacy bearer of both the colonizer and the colonized, Walcott feels his identity in conflict. And therefore, he writes in his poem that he is, and I quote his words, divided to the veins that run within his body. And probably all of us who have passed through the colonial process or whose ancestors have passed through the colonial process, and irrespective of the fact whether we belonged to the side of the colonizers or to the side of the colonized, we are perhaps all divided to the vein, and our identity is invariably informed by this conflict. For Walcott, however, this conflict becomes the very essence of his hybrid identity, of his new Caribbean identity, because there is no way he can wash away the African blood that runs through his body, and neither can he unremember the English tongue, which is as much part of his identity as the African blood in his veins. We will discuss this notion of hybrid identity further in our next lecture on diaspora and diasporic literature. Thank you.